Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Last First Date Radio, featuring interviews with experts in dating, relating, and mating in midlife. And now, here's your host, Sandy Weiner.
Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, to Last First Date Radio. We are honored to be one of the top-rated shows about attracting and sustaining healthy relationships, especially after 40. And today I am very excited to be speaking with dating and relationship coach Raeeka Yaghmai about how to fix your broken picker for good. And what's exciting about talking to Raeeka is that she's not only a colleague, she's also become a friend. She's wonderful, and I can't wait to share her wisdom with you in just a moment. And as a dating coach for women over 40 myself, I find that women often come to me as the last glimmer of hope. They have tried everything and they don't know why they still are having the same issues. And what I find is that so many people don't go deep enough with them. And so what I love doing is teaching boundaries and communication skills and finding the patterns that we have from our childhood that we really need to look at in order to find out why we are picking the wrong partners, why we are struggling so much to have the love that we deserve. So know that if you are still struggling and you feel like you've done everything, number one, you can rest assured that you're not broken, that you deserve love, and that you perhaps just didn't get the right kind of support. So people like myself and Raeeka, we go deep and we help you to unravel the issues that are blocking you from the love that you deserve. One of the things that I love helping women with is helping them become women of value. A woman of value attracts her best partner, and this goes for men too, by the way. So none of this stuff is gender specific, but I do coach women mostly. I actually spoke to a man yesterday, but most of my clients are women. And every week I bring you one of my 30 tips for how to be a woman of value. And this week I'm bringing you step number 5, which is create a life that energizes you and fills you up. When you create that amazing life, you're not needy. You're not putting out that really negative kind of pick-me vibe when you're dating, because your life is so full and wonderful, and finding the right partner is the icing on the cake. It's what makes your life even better. It gives you the intimacy and the things that are missing that your friends can't give you. But keep your life busy with things that fill you up with your passions, the things that you love. One more thing is two more things actually that I always like to let you know that if you haven't yet grabbed my free guide, the top 10 reasons why men pull away or disappear and how you can finally attract and keep the love you deserve, head on over to lastfirstdate.com. That's my website, lastfirstdate.com, after the show, of course, and pick up a copy by signing up right on the homepage. And if you're not yet a member of my Facebook group, which is called Your Last First Date, please join us. We have over 1,800 members. It's growing really quickly. And this is a group that is positive. It's supportive. It's like Raeeka's group, very, very wonderful place for people to come and have community. Community is such an important part of the dating process and of having a healthy, happy life. And now I'm going to introduce our guest, Raeeka Yaghmai. She is the founder and CEO of Dating with Confidence. She is a certified life coach and a dating and relationship expert for single women, as well as a professional opera singer. And I have heard her sing, and she is quite good. She's been a featured expert in Your Tango on Blog Talk Radio, like right now. She's been on many radio stations. She's on Bustle.com, and her secret weapon, her secret sauce, is that she teaches women who are chronically single how to create and maintain the relationship that they want, but they haven't been able to find on their own. She is an Iranian-American, She's an expert in intercultural dating, and she educates and empowers women to date with confidence, grace, playfulness, and curiosity in the 21st century. Welcome to the show, Raeeka.
Wow, thank you so much, Sandy. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, I'm excited to have you on my show today. So, fix your broken picker. I posted that on my Facebook page, and people are like, I need to go to hear that show. And what happens if I can't listen? And I said, it's going to be archived. It's on iTunes. It's on Stitcher. It's on Google Play. It's everywhere. So, for all those women whose pickers are broken, why do so many smart, successful women have broken pickers and date the wrong men?
Well, I think that we definitely are not born with a broken picker, right, Sandy? It's a series of choices we make, and it's when we are dating without being mindful. And a broken picker happens when we make choices based on fear, based on scarcity, based on judgment, based on maybe what others have told us rather than what we want. And when we don't really dig deep inside and find who we are and what we want, and, kind of go based on what we have heard or what others are telling us or the fear that I was talking about, that's when we start dating kind of the same guys over and over again, but they just have different faces. And that's when that whole broken picker syndrome starts. And I think it's really important that we kind of look at our patterns and know that we as humans have been given the most important power in the world, and that's the power of choosing our ways, choosing our thoughts, choosing our methods, choosing our decisions. We have the power of choice, and many times we forget to use that.
Mm-hmm. Well, we don't trust our choices. I think a lot of us have ignored our brilliant intuition and started to defer our choices to other people in our lives who don't know us as well as we honestly know ourselves. So this is really, really important, and I love that you really are talking about the depth of what we need to do to start trusting our choices and learn about ourselves more. So how do you work with how do you help a woman really start this process? The most important work that we do is, first of all, I ask women, as you know, coaching is a collaboration, right? Mm-hmm. We don't tell people what to do. The women that come are fully taking part in this process with me. And I explain to them how important it is to take a little bit of a break so that they can really work on who they are, find who they are, what they want. And as you said, start that process of learning how to trust themselves, right? And what do they really want? And so they go on a journey of, being okay with just being single for a little bit. And in that time, it's fascinating, Sandy, because these women who I work with, they go, first they're like, oh my God, I came to a dating coach, but you're telling me not to date for a while. And I'm like, this is the process of trusting. And you know what happens? Their jobs change comes into their jobs. They start getting more confident at work in a feminine way, not girly girl way, but in an open way, in a trusting way, in a not needing to be forceful way to get what they want. Mm-hmm. And I keep telling them this is what you can also do when you're with
with a man on a date. This is what you can do when you're in a relationship. And they start learning how I can actually get what I want without being forceful, and how I can trust myself. And they start seeing results, with their family, with their sister, mother, cousins, whatever, just people around them start responding differently to them, and that's how they start building trust. And we do a lot of work understanding the difference between IQ and EQ. You can be very smart, but emotional intelligence is a whole different thing, and being vulnerable is a whole different area, which, a lot of smart, successful, high-achieving women don't need to do that so much at work, and they're like, why am I attracting the wrong guys? And I teach them vulnerability, and so learning all these skills, how to be open, how to be softer, less forceful, trusting yourself. And the most important thing is, what's the difference between important characteristics and attractive characteristics, and be able to make choices based on the important ones, which is the most important question I always ask them is, what do you want to experience? What do you want to feel? And that question really starts bringing up a lot of amazing, discoveries.
Yeah. Well, yeah, many smart and successful women have been leading with their intelligence, but not their emotional intelligence. And that's how they succeed in life. Yeah. And it's proven to them that they have success. I'll never forget a woman who worked with me a number of years ago when I was pretty much just starting out, and all she wanted to lead with was all of this masculine energy of, I want to put in my profile that I'm a problem solver and I'm really good at planning, and I'm like, okay, it's great that you're good at all those things, but that's not why a man's going to seek you out, especially not the kind of man that you're looking for. And so I think a lot of women get confused about, like, what do you mean bring my softer side? I'm tough. I'm strong. I want to show my strength. I don't want to diminish myself to make a man feel stronger. So what would you say to a woman who asked that question?
That they would say, like, excuse me, the question is like very specifically, like, you mean, how would they?
Well, why do I have to suppress who I am to please a man? Because I'm not really being honest if I say that, I bring my soft side out. So, I'm strong. If he can't deal with it, that's his problem.
Oh.
I hear this all the time,
right?
So
all the time. Well, being right, I'm just like, we're laughing because it's so common. And you know what? I'm laughing honestly because I was one of those people.
Yeah.
And it's because so being soft has nothing to do with being weak. That's the first thing we need to understand. Being soft means there is a, proverb in Persian that says, when you say, sit down, please sit down, have a seat, take the goddamn seat. It all means the same thing,
okay.
right? But the way you say it makes all the difference. Being soft is about getting what you want, getting your needs in a way that encourages the person who's listening to you to be inspired to respond to you. So when we have, our boxing gloves on and we kind of want to be forceful, I mean, think about it. Would we be encouraged to help anybody who talks to us that way or acts with us that way, right? It wouldn't. So being strong means when you know a guy is not right for you to be able to walk away. That's being strong. Being strong means holding on to your values, but gracefully saying this is not a match, as opposed to bashing men and talking bad about them or to them. You know, being strong means when you are in an argument with a guy to be able to say, you know what, this is not my best coming out right now, and I need to take a beat, and let's get back to this when we both can talk lovingly to each other. Those are signs of being strong. And I think that a lot of times, and I totally understand this, when we have experiences from the past that makes us believe that, you know, men are cheaters, or, you know, men are they want to take advantage of us, or all they want is sex, or they don't want to commit, or they want to just play games. When we have collected this evidence and don't realize that we actually had a role in it, that it was our broken picker that got us into that situation, you know, then we think the way to avoid that is by being hardened and being harsh. And the right man is going to, you know, respond to that. And Sandy, I always tell my women, listen, a quality, and by quality man, all human beings have qualities. I'm talking about the qualities of a relationship-ready man. So a quality and relationship-ready man is somebody who's also taken the time to work on themselves to a degree, you know, to a degree. He doesn't have time for a woman who hasn't figured her fears out, who doesn't know how to speak softly. So I always tell my ladies, be the person you want to attract, be the person you want to date. It's pretty much based on what Gandhi says, you know, be the change you wish to see in the world. So that's what I tell my, you know, the women that I work with. And I know firsthand that even to this day, being with the love of my life, Tim, that when I get hardened, when I get, you know, hard-headed, or when I get forceful, he doesn't respond to me. And it's a continuing thing that I have to be aware of.
We all shut down around that, you know, and it's not just about romantic relationships. If somebody comes at you in an attack, you know, as an attack, you get defensive, you know, unless you've reached a Zen level of being able to process things, and you can do that right away, but most of us can't. And it's really hard to be around people who are guarded. I don't have time for it myself. I just know that I can quickly assess if a person is relationship ready and if a person has the qualities that I want to be with. So let's talk about the broken picker, because this is such important stuff. And, you know, our limiting beliefs, our past experiences, our guardedness, and the difference between soft and weak, and really the feminine soft, which is so appealing to men, especially the relationship-ready men, right? It's like gold.
Totally.
So what are 4 types of men that you've identified when it comes to dating and relationships? I know you have the Broken Picker Solution training, so can you share those 4 types? And are these 4 types to avoid, or 4 types that in general, like from good to bad kind of thing? Great question. Okay, so that is a really, really good question, Sandy. So the 4 types that I have created, or not created, but kind of like categorized, are men who are in the dating field, right? I'm not talking about all different men. We're specifically talking about men who are that, you know, when you go on online dating, or when you go, you know, in a dating situation, you will meet. And 3 out of these 4 come across as relationship ready, right? And then 1 out of the 4 is the relationship ready. So I've categorized it as the player, the needy, the non-committal, and the relationship ready man. And you know, basically when you meet this guy at the beginning,
the player, the needy, the non-committal, and the relationship ready. All of them can come across as, you know, oh my God, you've like hit jackpot, you know. And that's why it's really important to kind of know these categories and take your time to get to know them, you know. And that whole myth about, but we had chemistry. No, that chemistry is not. Yeah, that, you know, I always say that chemistry is what exactly ruins relationships. You know, like anything in life, you take your time to make a decision. You know, you take your time to get to know that person. And I always tell people, would you let just anybody walk into your house? No. You don't open the door and say, I totally found that guy or that woman has chemistry, so come in, let me show you where my safety box is. No, you got to know who they are, you know. Did somebody recommend them to you? Do you know about them? And then, you know, then you say, hey, why don't you come over for coffee, you know, whether it's a woman or a man or whatever, you know, family or whatever. You get to know them, and then you invite them into your house. But it's the same thing with dating. You know, you take your time and you get to know them, and you go through the different stages of dating, and then you figure out, are they a player? Are they needy? Are they non-committal? Because believe it or not, if we just kind of take our time and not be forceful in the process of dating, it's amazing how all of us have the tendency to show our colors so quickly.
So true.
And you get to know, right?
I see on your, you know, on your Facebook group and in my Facebook group, so many people jump in so quickly, and then it's a month later and they're already like living together, and then it's like, I was blindsided as soon as we moved in together. It was horrible. Now my life is ruined, and now it's gonna, you know, it's like there's so many issues that happen when you go in blindly. And one of the working titles of my book was Eyes Wide Open, Legs Firmly Shut. Because
I love that.
I mean, right? Women get it, men hate it, which is actually good because this is a book for women. But we tend to do the opposite. We close our eyes, we open our legs, we go, here, come on in, you know, open house. And, yeah, that just leads to really big problems. Yeah. So what are the signs of a relationship-ready man? What? I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. No. I was just excited about your book. Never mind. I'm like,
thank you. So what are some of the signs so they can identify him?
Absolutely. So a relationship-ready man is the type of man who is equally interested in you. You know, they tell you about themselves, and they also ask questions. A relationship-ready man is the type of man who takes his time. You know, he definitely follows up, but he also doesn't rush. He wants to get to know you. A relationship-ready man is a type that has the tendency to bond to boundaries with grace and respect. And he doesn't rush you. I can tell, like, you know, when I met Tim, I'd gone out after 12 years of meeting 11, you know, different players, needies, non-committals. And then my fiance kind of living with a text message, very Sex and the City. I was kind of, you know, hesitant, and Tim totally took his time. Like he, you know, I would say I wouldn't recommend what I did to my ladies, but because I was very scared, and Tim totally responded to that. To me, that was very like, wow, he's not. And he was consistent. A relationship-ready man is somebody who is consistent. He doesn't just say something one time and then switch, you know. A relationship-ready man is, and this is, ladies, this is the most important one, and the only way you are going to know this is to take your time, is that their words and their actions match.
Mhm.
And there is no fast-forward button on this.
Yep. So when you say take your time, because these are all really good points, what do you mean by take your time? Because some people are like, do I need to get to know him over 3 months? Do I not sleep with him for 6 months, like 90 days, 3-date rule? What
what
do
does
you
that mean?
feel is,
right?
Yeah, right. What does it mean to you?
Okay. So, Sandy, I'm one of those coaches who doesn't believe in rules at all.
Mhm.
I don't believe in the 90-day rule, the 2-week rule. I believe in what the most important, the rules for me, and this is how I've not always, ever since I kind of got, started working on myself. I've made my rules to be my values. And I love that you say a woman of value. I so resonate with that sentence, with that term that you use. My values are my rules and my guide. So for me, if I'm all for, if you want to sleep with a guy, sleep with him, but take responsibility that you slept with him. Take responsibility for the action that you're taking. It's not that he forced you into sleeping with him. You decided that you want to sleep with him too. And that has a consequence. That creates a whole different atmosphere. So for me, I tell my ladies, this is the consequence of sleeping with a guy too early. The whole process, that you're creating this kind of intimacy that doesn't have a foundation. So if you want to get to know a guy and kind of, know who he really is, because you can't reverse. Once you have sex, you can't reverse it. My recommendation is don't sleep with a guy until you guys are dating exclusively. I mean, and for me, the reason is avoid STD. I mean, it's simple. It's like simple things. It's not like, any kind of like tricks or abracadabra. It's like what makes sense, Like I don't want to sleep with somebody who's sleeping with other people.
Right.
If to me, taking your time means giving enough time to see, is he consistent? Or is he just calling me, in the first month, kind of coming forward really fast, and then, the next month or the third month, he's kind of slowing down. To me, consistent, taking your time means, are we progressing towards something? To me, taking your time means, how is he around his friends? How is he around my friends? How is he around my family? And the most important thing, and this doesn't mean, ladies, go out there and start a big fight, but whether we like it or not, we do get into a fight. We do get into an argument. For me, one of the most important litmus tests is when we get into an argument, how is that argument handled? And
so
you can't just fast forward and pick a fight, because you can't picking a fight is not an organic argument. And I know this sounds really kind of funny, but you gotta, you know what I mean? Like you've got to take your time, and so that organically you start getting to know each other and see what your differences are. And, I can tell one of the reasons Tim and I have really made it work is because we're both very opinionated. We're both artists and, have, our own ways of doing things. And, we met each other in our 40s, so we're already established in our lives, in our ways. And, but every single argument brings us closer to each other. To me, that's growth.
Yeah, how people argue determines the success of a relationship. I couldn't agree with you more. Raeeka, these are such important tips, and I really hope that the women listening and even the men listening pay attention, because everything that you shared is pretty much gender neutral. And these are just really, really good tips that we need to take our time. We need to know ourselves. We need to know what our own standards are, learn to communicate them with grace. And, it's just being a better human leads to being a better lover. And I so agree with you. So tell us how people can get in touch with you and maybe even get their hands on your PICKER program.
Absolutely. Well, the Broken Picker Solution Guide is totally free, so go grab it today. It's on datingwithconfidence.com/Broken Picker Solution. Pretty simple. And if they go to my website, datingwithconfidencecoaching.com, they can actually, it's the first thing on the homepage, so you can go get it there. You can, I'm all over social media, Raeeka Yaghmai, and I think there's only one Raeeka as a dating coach from what I know. So Raeeka, Google me and you'll find me. And I'm always happy to be in service, and I just, Sandy, we're lucky, right? We're lucky. We love what we do, and we get to change lives and empower women, right? I'm just so grateful. And I'm grateful for doing the show.
Yeah, thank you. I'm grateful to have you here and to know that you're helping so many women. It is really sacred work, and watching the ripple effect, like you said, where you help in one area of life and you end up having better work experience, better relationships with your children, with your coworkers, with your friends. You make more money. I mean, when you know your value and you do this work, it changes everything. So get in touch with Raeeka, get her broken picker solution. And thank you again for being on the show and sharing your wisdom, Raeeka.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And thank you all for joining us here today, and we hope you go on your last first date very soon. Have a great day.